What's up, everyone? My name is Owl Tamer, also known as that Owls guy. As of current, I don't have any other aliases, but I should be known as those two most places, so that should be easy enough to remember. And I know what you're thinking. This doesn't look like what I clicked on, possibly. I just wanted to have this playing in the background so that people didn't get bored visually. This is purely going to be a theory video concerning the recent episodes of Danganronpa. I guess in most ways it's going to focus on the future arc, but the despair arc is definitely a big factor in it as well. So, yeah, I'm just going to try and jump into that. This whole theory focuses on, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Chisa Yukizome. First of all, major spoilers coming in right now, so please don't watch this unless you have watched all 3 episodes so far that have come out. 2 in the future arc and 1 in the despair arc. I watched all earlier today, well, technically yesterday, but I haven't slept. And I wanted to get this theory out before any more videos came out, because I feel like if I don't do that, there might be something to come along that proves my theory, making it irrelevant that I thought of it, or that contradicts it. In which case, I had the theory out before it contradicted it, so at least that way I don't look like an idiot having the theory. Honestly, it'll be null and void if something disproves it, but I don't think it'll be disproven. This theory is completely not based on coincidence, but it has a lot of assumptions. Although I do think there's a lot to back it up, and I just want to kind of put it out there to see if anyone agrees with what I'm thinking. Okay, so major spoilers, here's it comes. Chisa is dead. She has just died in the future arc. Actually, she died a little bit ago, considering that was actually the first episode. Sorry, like I said, I just watched it all in one go. But Chisa is the first death in the little game that they're playing in the future arc. But in the very beginning of the despair arc, we see her talking about her death. Now, honestly, that's like a little weird. Like, I kind of got that, okay, she's talking about her death. I'm not really sure if this is considered to be happening. You know, like when you're not really sure if someone's breaking the fourth wall or not. I mean, in all technicality, I guess she is. But I don't think she's not actually saying that. I don't think she's speaking to the audience, honestly. I think she may be speaking to a audience, or an audience, but I do believe she's actually saying this within the show, like in all canonness, I suppose. I think she's actually saying this. And I suspect you're thinking now, how on earth is that possible? I'm not completely sure, but I do have a few reasons I think this. First of all, Danganronpa, assuming that you have played the games, you would know it to be, it doesn't tend to do things that haven't actually happened. Let me kind of explain what that means. If you've played the first Danganronpa game or watched the Danganronpa animation that was basically a shorter version of the first game, you'll remember that it started off with the murder of, well, technically execution of Mr. Kirigiri, Kyoko's father. And at the time, there was no context to that. It was just like, okay, there's this bear. I don't know anything about Danganronpa yet, so I can't really make any assumptions about what's happening. And for most of the game, you could have gone along thinking, honestly, that had no correlation to the events that have been taking place right now. So I could only assume maybe it was just like at the time, even when you're watching it, it kind of comes off as just something that was showing what the game would be like or what Monokuma was like. It's completely like it would be completely out there to assume someone would figure out that this would become a big factor later on when you learn that Mr. Kyoko was the one who was being executed and is the father of one of the characters and is also the principal of the school. So this little scene that happened at the very beginning turns out to be a big deal that would come to play a large role later on in the game/show. I guess technically it didn't change much, but it revealed a lot. And the fact that it's even canon is kind of what says the most concerning my theory. It's not just something that's displaying what the show is like, and it's not like it has no correlation to the story itself. It's a huge thing, actually. So then what does that have to do with the very, very small scene at the very beginning of the Despair arc? Well, we see that Yukizome is watching her own death, among other things. She seems to be watching it on a television screen. Not television screen, like a movie theater screen, actually. I don't have any idea, like, what the context is of her watching this. But just from the fact that Danganronpa likes to tie things in, I don't think this is fake in any way. I think somehow Yukizome is actually watching her death. Now, personally, I believe Yukizome isn't dead. I have no idea how she might have done that, and I'm not saying that I have no idea how she might have done that, so I don't think it's true. I just mean I don't have the context to tell you how she's alive. But I still think that she is alive. I also think that she is involved with all of this, quite honestly. There's mention of a traitor, and obviously someone's going around killing people. And personally, I believe it's her. I know we have seen her body, and quite honestly, that's not the hardest death to fake. Being stabbed, I guess, supposedly you could fake that pretty easily. Falling from the ceiling, though, I imagine that could injure you, really hurt you, possibly kill you, but I still think that could be faked. Regardless of whether or not that's true. I mean, they could have checked her body. I don't remember seeing anyone do that, but with a pharmacist there, I guess it might be safe to assume that she didn't have a pulse, but they never made any mention of her checking for that. And honestly, anyone could have checked that, but I don't think they specifically said that. I mean, you see someone stabbed, get told they're dead, see them fall from the ceiling, and it's not like the first thing you're going to do is be like, oh, are they dead? I mean, maybe, but it didn't show anyone to do that. This could completely be wrong. She could be dead, but I don't think so. But honestly, that kind of leads more into the main part of my theory. Like I said before, I think she's involved. I think she's the traitor. But more than I think she's the traitor, I just think that somehow she's somehow involved with Monokuma being there and with Despair kind of giving its one last attack at Future Foundation, the final battle Monokuma put it as. A few reasons I think this, other than what I've just stated. It's a lot of stuff that's not solid evidence, but it's like more hints that support the theory. For one thing, sadly, in the very last episode, Oe Yasuhina was killed. Now, if we look at Oe Yasuhina's death, she was stabbed in the stomach, I believe. And if you look at the opener to the future arc, Oe Yasuhina is also stabbed in the stomach. After watching Yukizome's death, you would think, oh, okay, I guess they're not going to use the deaths that were shown for each character in the intro. But Oi, she gets the exact death that she was given there. So why was one person given that death and the other not? I think this is because Oi is the actual first death. Or the first death had some kind of, something was hidden about it. What I mean by that is, in the first game and show, it's like you should know after watching the whole thing or playing the whole thing that the very second death, not the first one, Junko's death, well, Junko, quote unquote, wasn't actually her death. It was her sister's death, her twin sister. And I'm not saying Yukizome has a twin sister, but that does show that a very early death wasn't exactly what it seemed to be. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, something like this didn't happen in the second game. I'm making this video completely on the fly, so yeah, I don't think that happened, but it is something Danganronpa has done before, and Danganronpa likes to repeat itself. Not in every way. Danganronpa is very good with making new stuff, but they do like to do stuff they've done before. And although I don't think this is going to be completely what it was before, it's something similar. At least I think so. Remember, this is completely theory. That would explain, though, why she isn't given the same death there. I believe in the intro, she's shown to have her wrist slit in some way by the little bracelets they were given. And although that's not really what the bracelets say they'll do, I suspect if she were to die, that's how she would die. Something having to do with the bracelet or slitting her wrist. And this isn't even assuming that everyone's going to die the way that was shown, but I suspect most people who do die will have the way they were shown as their death, at least for those who get murdered. Like I said before, again, this could be completely coincidental, but there's more stuff that points to this being the truth. Another reason that I believe Chisa is involved is because she is the not really, I guess, substitute teacher for those who became the remnants of despair and like the ultimate despairs. Her class is the one that fell to despair and was like Junko's closest allies, basically, though she doesn't treat her allies so well. Her having such a close role and relationship, like from the first episode and only one that's come out of Despair arc, you can see that she's pretty close with them. Not that like I know she'll get very close with them for sure, but she's already seemed to get close to them. Like even Fuyuhiko says like, oh, I kind of like you. That's not generally something Fuyuhiko would say so quickly. Oh, would you look at that? I've gone offline. No. Oh, I haven't gone offline. I've been kicked out. No, but if this class is going to fall to despair, I don't think that her being their teacher is so coincidental. Like, I don't think that. I'm pretty sure the chances of that are slim. It's not that it couldn't happen. I just think it's another thing that points out to her having something to do with despair and uh, Monokuma actually infiltrating Future Foundation. I feel like all these things together kind of point to her possibly being our new Junko. And I don't mean by that she's going to replace Junko in any way, although she could. What I mean is, I think she's the one that is orchestrating this little game currently, and I think that she's the one who brought Monokuma along and is controlling him in some way. Monokuma can function by himself pretty decently, I'm pretty sure, but like, I believe she's the one who put him there and possibly planned what would happen. Now, I know this theory has a lot that still needs to be explained, but we're 3 episodes in. This is about as good as it gets. There might be some other evidence that hints toward this being true, but I don't think I can currently think of any. And the thing is, oh, there was another thing. Yukizome died very quickly, and that's kind of a thing that happens in Danganronpa, especially with characters that get close to Makoto. But she was focused, at least it felt like, a lot. She was focused on a lot when the show hadn't come out yet, and they were just talking about it. This could be because she died first, and they do like to focus on people who die early just to give them a chance to shine a little bit. But I think this is because she plays a more significant role than the one she has already. And further on that, well, something I said during that, she talked to Makoto a decent amount, and she showed an interest in him, kinda. Not like she's into him or something, but maybe. But more like she just thought he was interesting. Who else do we know that thought Makoto was very interesting? Junko certainly did, and Junko has been the orchestrator of basically every single Danganronpa so far. I say that meaning the death games. It might just be a thing with the people who orchestrate the games. Is this for certain? Again, no, but none of this really is. It's just a theory. I'm trying to think. Like I said, this is on the fly. I think that's about it. I suspect we will find Chisa either somehow was involved with her class getting to know Junko, or just getting to know despair in general. She has mentioned hope a lot, but I mean, after seeing Nagito become an ultimate despair, I think we can kind of expect anything to happen when one person likes hope. Like, I don't think that it's mutually exclusive. Not that he really liked despair, but to get involved with ultimate despair after you basically worship hope, she could have something along those lines. She did mention seeing two hopes come together. Sounds a lot like someone we know, but for a more powerful hope, maybe she just wants to see hope and despair fight. Honestly, I'm kind of getting out there now, assuming that she is what I say she is. I don't know necessarily if that means she's evil, although she is making people kill each other, so whether or not you want to say that's evil, I would. But so yeah, that's basically my Yukizome is involved, at least somehow, in this current killing game theory. I hope I remembered everything I wanted to say. I hope you enjoyed it. I honestly hope it comes true, because I like being right, although I would say that I guess that doesn't mean happy things for Yukizome, although supposedly still being alive would be nice. Being in ultimate despair might not be. Not so much ultimate despair, just someone who wants this game to happen. There's a lot of other people who are potential candidates for the trader, but I don't think any have any. I don't think any of them have nearly as much potential as she does. Yeah, so I don't think we'll be seeing the last of her very soon, or at least have seen the last of her. I wanted to get this out as quick as possible because I know we have an episode coming out today, actually. And I didn't want, I already said this, but like I didn't want it to be proven or disproven before I could say this. Like today something could come out and she could be like, hey guys, I'd like you guys to meet Junko. And then this theory would pretty much be out the window because it'd be kind of obvious that she did that. But yeah, just trying to make sure that's everything I had. Gosh, I really can't wait to see what happens. Such a good show. Well, thank you very, very much for watching. If you have any info on what I've said, like if you'd like to agree, disagree, you have some info that possibly says this might not be true or might be true, any that hurts it or helps it, please put it in the comments. I love debating stuff like this. And any info we can get would help us predict what the outlook is going to look like for this little killing game. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.